Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Abuja, coming to you from the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja, and I am Gladys Kudambo Vincent. It's good to know you joining today because we have so many things lined up for you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy what we have for you today. We begin with our motivational talk. You know, usually when we bring our motivational talk, it's not just for you to just watch and get a message from it. It helps you relax, it helps you think, like, how do I go about this? So this motivational talk from Olushola will tell you how to set healthy boundaries and stop oversharing. Let's see it.
You think sharing your story makes you relatable, but sometimes it just makes you disposable. I know you might have heard that vulnerability is powerful, but there is a thin line between vulnerability and oversharing. And many times you cross that line without knowing it. Here's why oversharing could be killing you and how to put an end to it. Join me. Times in our lives where even for introverts you just felt like I perhaps shouldn't have said this, I think I said a little bit too much. And so it's actually a major problem, because on the other hand, I even think that true growth and true development and true improvement begins at self-awareness. And so for we who are self-aware of this particular issue, it even helps. But for several other people, they do not have the required self-awareness to know that they were actually oversharing. And this is actually a major problem, because oversharing can actually damage many things. It can damage your credibility. It can actually also damage your reputation. Now, I think when it comes to oversharing, in many cases, one of the main principles that will help you, and one of the main things that I think many people lose sight of, is that they do not know how to separate people from issues. I repeat, people from issues. People from issues. I think that when you learn to separate people from issues, it becomes easier for you to get to the point where it will be really hard for you to overshare. So many times you feel like you've overshared is because you gave details about what happened to a person, or many times even happened to you, instead of focusing on the issues. So one of the things that will help you is try to stay on subject. Try to talk about the event, what happened at a particular moment, and what that did to you. And do not necessarily talk about your reaction to what happened. In many cases, neither should you dwell too much on the impressions of the other people around you and the things that they might have told you. This is actually a very simple tip that might help you one way or another, because I think that most people who overshare did not start the conversation with the impression, or rather with the hope to overshare. It's just that it gets lost in the midst of the conversation.
That was Olushola with how to stop oversharing and set healthy boundaries. I'm sure you learned a thing or two. Okay, now it's time for some exercises. You know, exercises are to actually keep you fit. So that's why we're here. So let's see our exercise segment.
One, go. Round one. 3, 2, 1, stop. Round two. 3, 2, 1, go. Round three. 3,
what's a day without keeping fit? Like you'll be dull the whole of that day. So yes, keep fit. Hope you join in, so at least you'll be fit to start your day. Now we go on this short break, and when we return, you'll meet my guest. If you're just joining, this is Good Morning Abuja, coming to you from the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja. And you've not really missed, because we just want to begin our conversation on the program, and we have an interesting topic, a topic that has to do with children. You know, the children are on holiday. Children in the nursery, primary and secondary schools, they are all on long vacation, like the longest break for academic session. Yeah, so, but usually parents will be wondering, how do we engage them? In fact, some of their problems will also be like, where can we drop our children? You know, when in school, they can drop them at school and then come back to pick them up. But now, like they are all responsible, like nowhere to drop the child, especially when you don't have someone that they can stay with. So what happens? Where is the safest place to actually keep them, that you are sure when you're at work, your mind is at rest, that they are okay at home, wherever they are? So with me to be talking about topic that relates to this, we're talking about creating safe spaces for children to actually thrive. And with me is Kangyang Deborah Ghana. Together we're talking about this wonderful topic. Welcome to Good Morning Abuja.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, like the pretty one. You know, when anyone that has to deal with children is always on the play side. You cannot be serious and be expecting the children to open up to you.
It will shock you. I went to a military school.
Oh, really?
And then my commandant, then EI Udok, will say, do you know the secret of remaining young? Just be with children.
Oh, really? That's the secret. I see why you're looking so young. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So like I said, we have our topic, creating safe spaces for children to actually thrive. So when we talk about creating spaces for children to thrive, what does it mean to say a safe space for children, and why is it so important?
Safe space. I love how you added that fact that children are on holiday at the moment, right? But it will amaze you that safe space is not just about physical safety.
Exactly.
So, but physical safety is one of it for children to be able to thrive, develop in a healthy way, and also thrive. We also talk about emotional safety.
Okay.
Emotional safety is another key aspect of it, because a child can be in a safe environment physically. There is no cause for alarm. There is no danger in the child's way.
Exactly.
But the child is unsafe emotionally. And I tell you that I think that's one area we need to even start to focus on, right? It's important to have a physically safe space.
Okay.
It's important also to have emotional safety, cultural safety, and all levels of safety that we can consider for children. But most importantly, safe spaces, creating safe spaces that they can play, because I hear you talk about the holidays, and parents are wondering, what do we do? I tell you that you cannot have a good life without planning for it. Yes, things can happen. We make our plans and some things thwart it, but when you are intentional. So one question I will even ask is, you the parent out there who is wondering where to take your child, did you make plans for August, July, August, and September? Some of us take annual leaves from work. Did you plan your leave to at least, if you can't even spend 4 weeks, did you plan to spend at least 2 weeks? I have a friend who travels a lot. Unfortunately, I'm joining that league again. You know, we travel a lot, and that means that you don't have that long period of time to spend with your children, with your family. But that time that you're spending with them, do you make it a quality time without distractions of our mobile devices?
Exactly. That's
without
another
distraction of even the television.
Just do you and them.
Like, just give undivided attention to those children. And that is the safe space I advocate for.
Okay, really?
Yes. And something that crossed my mind, you know, our values are changing as a culture, sadly. But they don't have to. We can borrow the good from the West. Ours too, there are very good cultures that we don't need to kick away. So what is that one I'm talking about? Before, our parents could leave us in the care of grandparents, aunties and uncles. Even then, there was abuse, we agree. There was abuse even then, because people are beginning to speak up about it. But where is that culture of the common statement that says it takes a village to care for a child?
Exactly.
So if we are neighbors in an estate, I take Abuja for an example. You live in an estate, and all of you are learned. We're all learned, right? And we're wondering where are the safe spaces. What happens in putting our heads together? I believe that in estates there are community meetings. You meet to talk about your security. You meet to talk about utilities. Can you also meet to talk about the safety of your children? How do you do that? You have some resources at your disposal. Is there a playground in your estate?
To begin with, okay.
Is there a playground in your estate? Because children find safety in play. In fact, I can't overemphasize the therapeutic powers of play. Just normal play, unstructured play, structured play, whichever one it is. So in your estate, as you sit to plan meetings, is it just the husbands who are going? Even the fathers should take responsibility for talking
just
about
the men
it.
that actually go. You don't even understand what's happening.
So that's what I'm saying. So in fact, we need to bring the fathers into this conversation. We're talking about gender roles. I don't want to go into gender issues now, but today, the 21st century, a lot of families are not living with the typical traditional African gender roles. Fathers are taking children to school. So can fathers be more involved in the lives of their children? And so how do you do that? How do you create that safety for your children in this holiday? Create time, undivided time for your children. Spend time to play. There are play you can play with children of all ages. Thank God for the internet. It's not just to be on Facebook and watch Pella and Jarvis get married, but it's also to use your internet and see how can I be that safe space for my child. So even safety is not about the physical safety, but a parent can be a safe space where the child can come and share emotionally without fear of judgment, without fear of punishment.
I was going to ask, like, when you talked about not just the physical part of everything and then the emotional part, can a child feel unsafe even when there's no physical abuse? What are those, as in some of those examples?
In fact, you can be in a home where your food is provided for breakfast, lunch, brunch, dinner, snacks. The environment is beautiful, but that child is unsafe. Because emotionally, there's no safety. You are not free to express your emotions. You get scolded, you get shamed. You're not free to be yourself as a child. You must fit into the perfect mold of your parents. And when a child is in that state, sadly, a lot of rewiring happens in the brain, and it affects and impacts the child's future. It impacts it negatively. It affects their self-worth. Oh, I'm not good enough. My mama is not good enough. You know, before I started learning and practicing these things, I also was in the dark. Any little thing, I lift my hand and I spank, any little thing. And then I learned the lesson, even without going through the studies I've gone through. I learned the lesson. My child just did this. Woo!
When you're trying to
volumes.
spank.
Yeah,
Oh,
I wasn't
really?
even going to spank.
Okay.
But the body language
yeah.
spoke volumes. And I asked myself, what am I raising? So that child starts to live in fear of the parents or the caregivers, whoever they are. Because they don't feel safe. But they have a beautiful environment. They eat good food. But they don't feel safe. And it impacts them in the future. So yes, a child can be in a space that is physically safe, but emotionally they are not safe, culturally they are not safe, you know, and it impacts their future negatively.
Okay, now you've told us, you said parents should actually give time, using the example of annual leave in the year for the child and all that, but how can parents, I believe there are still ways, because even if you're on leave with your child, you don't still, sometimes they're on leave, they just, I think at the back of their mind, it's just, okay, so I don't have to think of where to drop the child off. They are still busy with their set. The children want to give them gist or just want to know one or two extra things. They're like, just wait, I will attend to you, and attend to you, time is running. So how do parents or caregivers actually create this safe space for children?
So you can even be at home and not be at home for your children. As we say these things, we that share it, it's not as if we're perfect, but we are learning. And one thing I have realized is the more you expose yourself to knowledge, the more you acquire knowledge on the issues, and you start to practice. You're not there yet. You will make mistakes, but you keep practicing. I'm saying that to share my story personally. Sometimes sharing your story helps. I've got to a stage of life that I'm quite busy. Sometimes I'm home and I'm in meetings or in a webinar or something. And my youngest son, who is 4 years, just walked up one evening and said, "Mama, are you in a meeting?" And I said, I have communicated so much. I have communicated so much that I am unavailable, even though I am physically in the house. And so that's what I'm trying to draw attention to. You can be in the house physically, it's the annual leave. But if you don't make those intentional plans and you plan for those times to spend with the child, what do you do with the child? In fact, as basic as, depending on the age of the children, if they are younger children, with my children we play, what do we call it? I Spy with my little eye. So we're in the living room and they come and say, it's been a while we've played. Yeah, and they come and say, I spy with my little eye something rectangle, and then everybody in the house starts to look for something. 10 minutes of that creates good bonding with your children if they are of elementary school age. If they are of the adolescent age, preteens, teenage age, what can you do with them? Sit and ask what interests them. It's not always about lecturing. We do a lot of lecturing, we do a lot of correcting, we do a lot of preaching.
Play alone can do the correction, I think.
Can your child just have a healthy conversation without you preaching? Yes, you will preach. I'm not saying that you don't need to talk to your children and tell them what your values are as a family, but not immediately at that point that something has happened that they need connection. I love this phrase. It's one of the phrases, there are books on it. It says connect to correct. Some of us parents are wondering, how do we connect with our teenagers? There's a divide. Yes, developmental stages. At that stage in their life, they are thinking about their identity. They are lost in, who am I? What is life about? And at that stage, when that child is struggling with all of these thoughts, then here we are just talking down on the child. And no wonder the divide further creates. But can we walk alongside with that child, connect? Find those things that interest your child. So it's holiday, they are home for those of them in boarding schools, even day schools, they've been away for hours, right? They are home now. Can you ask them, okay, what's going on? What healthy conversations that you can have with children? Playful conversations. There are game cards, the card games you can play. You can use those card games to know more about your children. You can use those card games to also play games about emotions. We need to teach children to name their emotions. As an adult now, I can play something brief with you. Now I can ask you, what are the emotions we feel? And I'll hear the basic things. Happy, sad. And they just revolve around these ones. But do you know that sometimes there is that emotion of guilt? Are we able to help children understand that guilt is an emotion? You can feel guilty. You feel guilty, right? Sometimes it's not just only, oh, I'm excited, I'm happy, right there. But you see, the emotions that show, there's a lot. It's like an iceberg, right? You just see the one on the surface, but underneath is the huge mass of it. So there's a lot going on under. And can we help children start to identify emotions, name them, and even doing like a body scan. Sometimes, have you wondered, you come to work and your legs are shaking, or your stomach starts to turn like butterflies in your stomach, and you're wondering what's going on with me. But if we can get to that level of awareness of how our body feels and react, how our body reacts to the feelings that are going on the inside, that's being emotionally aware. It's part of safety. It's part of emotional intelligence, emotional safety that we want to teach to children, that we ourselves. So, but what I would say to adults, you want to be that safe space, you need safe spaces. Start to learn those things for yourself. You can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. So as a parent, if yourself, you get emotionally dysregulated easily, you can't help your child also regulate their emotions. So you find the house in chaos. And during holidays like this, mamas, daddies, uncles, aunties, you must learn to regulate your emotions to be able to support the children, and that's about safety. The safety we're talking about, that we'll be spending time with them. It's not about preaching, it's not about talking down. And one mistake we make also as parents is we withhold play or withhold love and attention in the name of discipline.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that so sometimes you be like, you're playing too much, or this child plays too much, but I think that is play is part of growth for children. Like, they need to play.
I am a play advocate.
You're turning them to adults when they should actually enjoy.
As a play advocate, we just concluded our play therapy conference, international conference in Abuja last week, and we were talking about the importance of play. Very important. And yet, parents are withdrawing that play. Do you know, even for schools, the child is restless. You have been teaching this abstract concept, and the child becomes so restless. And the teacher decides to say, go to the corner, or the teacher says, no playtime for you. That's a wrong approach.
Okay, that's wrong. I'm thinking if you use no playtime for you, like punishment, so that the child is sad, like.
So what have you achieved? What have you achieved? Because what's the essence of correction? It's not just about behavioral modification. You want them to understand something. Discipline, you're making disciples, right? The word discipline. You want the child to do something. You want to teach them. Discipline is to teach.
Teach, actually.
So what are you teaching if you withhold play? And do you understand the way the brain works? What that child needs, if you have a child that is emotionally dysregulated in your class, is fidgeting around and all of that, send that child to the play corner and ask the child to play for a while, or run around the school field. They burn that energy. There's some, they distress when they play, and then that child will be ready to come back. So where is the help when you stop the child from the play that would have helped the child to regulate emotionally, and then come back and be ready to sit? And so school owners, parents, we need to understand the power of play.
So
we need to allow children play. You use one phrase before we go on that break. There is nothing else you play too much, and we can start
Okay, so there's nothing like you play too much. Let's go on this break. Let's pause a bit and go for a break, and we'll come back to continue on this very interesting topic. It's a topic that it concerns everybody. Like, everybody should be involved. School owners, parents, and everybody, because a whole community actually. So we need to actually go on this break. Let's refresh and come back to continue our conversation. Go nowhere.
I don't know what it is, but she drives me crazy.
Marriage, a beautiful bond, but not without its battles. Behind every smile is a story. Behind every I do is a journey. Mr. and Mrs., the show that peels back the curtain on real relationships. No scripts, no filters, just truth.
I've become a better husband because I've learned a lot from the mistake of the past.
I had feelings, but I wanted to be sure.
Do I have to kneel down to marry a woman?
No, but just do the right thing.
Join us every week as we sit down with real couples to talk about the raw, the real, and the redemptive side of marriages. From newlyweds to seasoned partners of 40 years plus, no topic is off limits.
Have you ever been in love?
At the end of the year, he came to the village. I saw, oh, this is the brother I saw that time. I said, please, I want to marry you.
This is more than entertainment. It's an invitation to grow, to heal, and to love again. Mr. and Mrs. is about real love, real struggles, and real hope. Every couple has a story. What's yours? Join us on NTA Channel 5, the Unity Station, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m.
'Cause all of me loves all of you.
Are you interested in being up to date with the pacey world of sports? Our rebranded Capital Sports is the finest bet for your doing so.
So join us every Thursday live at 3 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja to talk sports for your viewing pleasure. Remember, you can be a part of this #1 sporting program. Join us on the analysis, views and opinions.
Yes, welcome back from that break. I'm sure you, in case you missed the first part of the conversation, my guest is still seated and we're still talking about creating safe spaces for children to thrive. And my guest is still Kangyang Deborah Ghana. She has told us a whole lot because this topic is something that we need to actually make our children thrive. And she told us she will still continue with our conversation. Okay, so before I went on the break, we're saying there's nothing like play is too much. Like, you know, there's nothing like, I said, especially when you want the child to actually thrive, there's nothing like that. So, but I want, before we continue, it's part of the conversation though, I want to, like, okay, parents are trying on their own, like, let me say they want to try on their own, and then going back now to school, some of the things, because I feel some teachers actually need to know that play is part of learning. So you find some teachers, the way they talk to children, the manner in which they can just easily abuse a child, and then you see the child, like, them just use like your big head, or your head is like what, and there's no, it's like it's said and that's it, that's how it looks. So a child will just be like, this instrument, my head is like mango or something, and then everybody's laughing. You know, when you insult like that, everybody laughs, and then maybe gets home to tell the parent, and the parent is like, what did you do? Like, that's the first thing. Maybe you must have done something for your teacher to actually. But I want to know, are teachers, how are they supposed to actually discipline children? Like, definitely children might actually do something wrong. Instead of scolding them, abusing them, they should find how should they actually approach children.
In this your question, you have packed a whole lot of different topics. I will mention them briefly. Okay. There's that first part that the teacher that will insult the child has no business in the classroom.
In the first place, exactly.
Where is the training?
So what happens? Because now it's like, okay, that's the job of the, that's where the person is eating from.
So that's their ethics. They have missed it. The school should do a lot of monitoring. You see, some things, we have beautiful policies in Nigeria, but implementation is a problem. So we know this learning is principle. We have policies in schools, and that a teacher will still be doing this shows that administratively there is no real monitoring and implementation of your beautiful policies on paper. The next thing I want to talk about, I won't dwell on that. I'm not here to talk about administration issues. But on the other aspect, for a teacher to even say that to a child is an indication that this teacher is not well informed. You know that from your words, you can hurt. They say stones and woods don't whatever, but words can break you as well. They can also hurt. In fact, they do more harm than even the stones and wood. Okay, so for a teacher to be that person that is causing emotional harm to a child, because when you call them names, you are dealing with their sense of who they are, their identity. And so that teacher is not trauma informed. So we need classrooms to become trauma informed. We need teachers to be trauma informed. We need schools to be trauma informed. We need parents to be trauma informed. Religious centers to be trauma informed. Because if you're trauma informed, you will learn how to speak to children and not harm them. And so this is one aspect that we also go out and train people on. So we can come we can do some workshops to help build the capacity of your school teachers to become trauma informed, so that your classrooms are safe spaces for learning. If that's teacher, I can tell you for a fact, I had a teacher who mentioned the topic for the fact that the teacher may watch this. But I did not like the subject, and it was an easy subject to pass. The reason why I did not do so well and give attention to that subject was because of the teacher. This teacher in class because my handwriting looked like the chickens were dancing. And so
use
the
that to
teacher,
describe
and
it.
my notes were always complete.
Okay.
But this teacher will write "sing" on my notes. And those whose handwriting are so beautiful and cursive, they got higher scores.
Oh, really?
I wrote everything complete. I didn't miss anything, but I get a "sing," and they get the comment very good. And you know, students in secondary school, we go checking each other's notes.
Yes.
And I just felt this teacher didn't like me. In fact, there were 2 of us in the class. We will console ourselves that this woman didn't like us.
So you try
and
to
guess
avoid.
what? It showed in our results. Because we didn't like the teacher, we didn't give too much attention to that course, and we didn't pass it as well. I got a C in that course. You know, and the courses where I liked the teacher, I made A's and B's in them. So the way a teacher relates to a child impacts their learning as well. So schools need to be informed and aware, and play too. Another important part of play and learning. The concepts you teach in your classroom should not just be too abstract, too serious. The way you relate with children determines, like I said, how they will learn from you.
Okay.
My cousin is doing an online course, and her teacher is in Benin. And I will listen to them in the evening, how they are taking the courses. And I'm like, I like this man.
Okay.
Because he's breaking down concepts, abstract concepts, in playful language, in pidgin language, and giving simple examples. If you turn that rope, turn and you can't release the rope.
Oh, really?
And he's using that to explain some principles of physics. And this is like a private lesson, but it will make learning easy. I give an example. I give an example with how we learned the 20 elements in chemistry. Then it was 20. I don't know what it is now. You know, we learned them by singing. And we sang them in very funny ways. And singing is part of play. So when you include playful strategies into teaching, your children will grasp those concepts and not forget them. I don't forget the 20 elements because I can sing it.
You can sing it.
I can sing it. And so allow children to let the teaching, let the learning be participatory, let it be practical. It's not about just sitting. You know, another thing we advocate for, even for schools, you know, it breaks my heart that some schools don't have playgrounds. If I work with the Ministry of Education, there is no school that will
not have, at least for his primary schools, nursery, primary.
Even secondary, my dear.
No, even secondary. I'm just saying that it's even bad. If at all, that
a nursery
school,
a preschool, a daycare center is seated just in a room. Room without, I saw one last week in my city in Jos. My heart broke. It's a daycare center. You will have more than 15 children in that room. No cross ventilation.
That's a no-no.
It's a no-no. It's a no-no. And so, no playground. You need the outdoor games, you need the indoor games. For all, how can a child sit for 12 hours? Sometimes we are gone for 12 hours.
Exactly.
8 hours, between 8 to 12
because some
hours.
drop from 8 till 6 in the evening.
And they are not, the sun is not touching them. We are talking about vitamin D and its importance. You know, we need to do better.
Okay, so we're looking at what should parents, if a child confides in a parent now, what should they do to make them feel like, how should they go about it? Abuse, as in tell them about abuse or traumatic experience. What should the parent do in such instances?
3 things I will say. The first one, you listen to that child and you believe them. They need someone to believe them. Our speaker at the international conference last week shared how she is a play therapist in the US, in New York, and she saw a child. Many years later, that child became an adult, and that child came back to her for therapy. And she asked her, why did you come back? She said, because you believed me as a child. So when children tell you about abuse, please believe them. The next thing you do as an adult, please don't over dramatize it. They came to you as an adult. That's why I talk about adults being able to regulate their own emotions. You calm yourself down. The thing is pinching you inside, but you are the adult. Act the adult that you are. And when you do that, the next thing you need to do, if you can't help them, you report. Thank God for hotlines for reporting. NABTIP, I'm a member of Child Protection Network because we advocate for children. So there are hotlines, national hotlines. My state has, I believe Abuja should have a hotline where you can report those cases. In the police, I believe there are help desks for reporting violations of rights of people, particularly children. In civil defense, there should be. As a community, do you have your own reporting pathways, your referral pathways? Every community should start to do this. You know, we do everything for ourselves.
Exactly.
You do borehole for yourself, you do solar for yourself, you do security
easy,
for yourself.
yeah.
Start to even talk about addressing child protection issues too as a community. And so you find ways to report it so that the law is there and it catches up with offenders.
Okay.
I believe in the power of the law. Is working. There is more that we can do, but it's working. So you report it. And the last thing, get a counselor, a trauma counselor, a play therapist. I will advocate for mine. A play therapist, or basically a counselor who can work with that child towards healing. You can do that.
Wow. Okay. So, aside are there common parenting mistakes that unintentionally make children feel unsafe or unheard? I know you have mentioned like a few, but I know there are more, because these uncommon mistakes, you feel you're actually doing well, but there are mistakes. What are they?
Very true. And let me say this first. We will all make mistakes. There is no perfect parent.
Okay.
So that we're not too harsh on ourselves. But the important thing is that we are learning. We're on the path of growth. And we're able to learn from our mistakes and make a U-turn. One common mistake is we talk down on our children. We talk down on them, and so they go back thinking, am I loved? Am I worthy? Can I please my mom? Can I please my dad? And you know all that, oh, you came last. They just came back with results. It's not every child that will be the first in class. It's not every child that will be the second, third, or top 10. Some children will be at the bottom of it
and
academically.
Sometimes there might be competition, like you just see the average is just some points.
And there are many factors why a child will be academically very excellent, another will be behind. The one behind doesn't mean that he's not good at anything. Can you celebrate what your child did that is good enough? And then support them and work with them to build them up. I'm not saying they should just be last or keep being at the bottom of the class. But you can find ways of supporting your child and love your child unconditionally, whether you come first or not. I will tell you this story. I'm going to use myself again. I have 3 boys. 2 of them are in elementary school. The first does not top his class. The second has topped his class 3 years in a row. When I go for parents teachers conference where they start to open the books, I have to prepare myself. I do reading. I go online and check, how do I manage this situation? I'm being intentional so that I don't pull down the older one when I'm praising the younger one. And when the teacher is talking about, I make sure that younger one is not there, because there are tendencies of him using it to say you're not smart enough. I've had to deal with that before. So I have to arm myself with that. So we have to learn. So common mistakes, don't pull them down. And the moment I realized that my older son, I was putting too much pressure on that young boy by saying, work on your math, work on your math, I changed strategy. I realized it. And how did I realize it? And this is one thing parents need to know. Are you really observing and knowing what's going on with your children? Are you watching their behavior? Are you well conversant with changes? When you see, you're able to tell this is a change. Because these are pointers to your child is in distress. And so I noticed it. If we're going out to town and we're going to 2 different places in town, and I say to my oldest son, will you come with me or go with daddy? He was always choosing daddy. I had to go back and say, Katie, what's wrong? What are you doing?
Wrong.
And I realized that I was putting pressure on him. And I changed, and my language changed with him. son, I love you. Even if you don't pass maths, I still love you and I'm proud of you because you're able to do this well. You're able to do this well. I praise the other areas he's able to do well. And that helped me. And now he comes. Before, he's the clingy one. He would just love to come and hug mama. But after a while, he was avoiding me. But when I changed strategy, every moment, he's 11 going on 12. Every moment, he's hugging
to
me.
hug you.
And I know that, yes, it's a face. Tell me how he will not hug me like that.
Exactly.
So
But
I need
enjoy
to
it
be
while it lasts.
and so I need to keep myself informed and aware about developmental stages of children so that I can act appropriately. I can't come and clown with a 13 years or 14 years old boy like I will clown and play with a toddler.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to understand the stages, the developmental stages, and what you need to do for each stage that is appropriate so that you can connect.
Okay, so like this topic is something we can visit some other time. Like he has a whole lot to actually learn, as in we have a whole lot to learn from this particular topic, this angle, and so many more. So it's not enough now. We'll come some other time. So thank you for coming on the program and teaching us, as in telling us all we need to know about play and also safe spaces for children to actually thrive. Thank you for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you for having me. I'll be glad to be here.
Okay, so we've been talking with Kangyang Deborah Ghana, and we've been talking about creating safe spaces for children to thrive. And I'm sure you learned, in fact, more than 18 or 2, you learned so many things, like parents, teachers, the community, everybody has a role to play to actually ensure that children are actually coming out to actually express themselves freely without fear of anything. Yeah, so let's go on this quick break and we'll be right back.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja. We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? We are ready to produce.
I've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
They know my story.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B.
Ladylike!
In the 14th century, 15th, 16th century, and even 17th.
That is for zakah to cure our greed.
The purpose why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to create humanity.
The Bible talks about a man called Apollos.
This is NTA Abuja Channel 5.
See you same time.
And have a great and blessed week ahead.
Welcome back. Yes, do you know how to drive? I'm sure some people, like, I know of somebody that actually just carried the father's car. Each time they say, okay, wash this car, the person will just carry the car. The father will come and see that the car is facing another direction. Like, how did it happen? And then he had to say, okay, let me note that today I parked it this way. Like, I'm sure it was facing this way, so that when I come, I'll know that it's actually not my imagination. And actually, it was the person who was sending the wash it that was always, when he finished, now, you know, you'll be like, hey, let me warm it now, and then come and pack it back. But he'll pack it the other way, like ready for the father to just take it out. Okay, and that was how he actually learned how to drive. So I asked the question again, do you know how to drive? If you know, how did you learn how to drive? So this feature will actually tell us and teach us that there are driving schools that actually teach us how to drive professionally. Let's see our feature.
In many communities, people learn to drive from friends or families. It seems easy, convenient and cheap, but informal learning often misses critical skills, road signs, defensive driving, and emergency response. Professional driving builds confidence, discipline, and awareness.
It's better for you to learn from driving school, because if you learn from driving school, you learn some things from driving school about the road, about the system of the road, because your brother cannot teach you on his own. He can't tell you the traffic, all those things for the road.
Learning in driving school
is very essential because you learn it gradually with all what it takes from government that makes you to learn freely.
To come to driving school and learn at least 1 month. Even some even use 2 months to train.
Learning to drive is a major milestone in life. It represents freedom, independence, and responsibility. Getting behind the wheel without proper training can also be risky. That's why enrolling in a professional driving school is one of the smartest decisions any new or returning driver can make. A professional driving school provides structured lessons that go beyond basic driving skills. It teaches safety, patience, awareness, and confidence. A professional driving school is an accredited institution that provides formal instruction in both the theory and practice of driving. It combines classroom lessons with real-world training to help students understand traffic laws, learn vehicle control, and handle various driving situations. Unlike learning from friends and family, a professional driving school provides a structured curriculum created by certified experts.
Over 10 good years now we have been on the road. You know the one you do that land you to a problem. And you know the one where you do that you make you free out of the way. So I prefer learning from the driver, our colleagues here, is more preferable than, what is it called, than the driving school.
To come to driving school is not only to learn how to drive only. When you come to driving school, you have a lot of things to achieve from driving school, the road science, the methodology, the patience. We don't only teach you how to drive, we teach you discipline of the car. How can you maintain your car? How do you obey the road traffic? That is the most important thing for you to go to driving school.
Is starting a driving school worth it? Considering the many people wanting to learn how to drive, to succeed, you need a solid driving business. If you are willing to put in the work to understand the market and find new ways to market, the driving school can be rewarding. It is not easy, but it is very profitable. Driving school mainly makes money from course fees. These fees come from students taking beginner lessons, defensive driving courses, and training for commercial vehicles. They also earn extra by renting out vehicles for practice and selling online courses. Knowing these income sources helps predict a school's financial health. Enrolling in a professional driving school is about more than just passing a test. It is about developing safe driving habits that last a lifetime.
Yes, that was a feature on driving schools. Now you know that there's no shortcut. Just go for driving school. It will help you and help everybody on the road. Yes, you actually are safer when you go to driving schools. Learn how to drive through driving schools. Okay, up next we have musicals. Yes, we've been talking and talking. Now it's time to step down, relax, and enjoy our musicals.
Back then in J-Town, me had the hustle to find my lane. Grinding on the hustle, struggling to make and pay. Dream louder than the traffic with the Lagos on a Friday. Told myself no stressing with Papa God, I can make them someday. We catered on my back, bonga slamming on my chest. Yes, the journey had me shaky, but my hope stayed blessed. Cause I knew one day I'd rise with faith burning in my eyes. From the dark to the light, now I'm standing tall. Used to dream of good tidings, now I'm getting them all. Every step that I take, every move that I make, I remember where I came from, and I thank God every time. Yeah, I'm blessed of my life. From the dark to the of my life. From the dark to the light. and the echoes of my past. For I get the confidence, the hardship know the last. So I carried every struggle like a medal on my chest. The journey's never easy when you want to be the best. Cause I knew one day I'd rise with faith burning in my eyes. From the dark to the light, now I'm standing tall. Used to dream of good tidings, now I'm getting them all. Every step that I take, every move that I make, I remember where I came from, and I thank God every time. Yeah, I'm blessed of my life. From the dark to the light, I'm blessed of my life. From the dark to the light,
yeah. So China may say whatever go happen. Cause me say we came out from nothing. I remember me boys in it teasing me for rapping. All the things that I was saying, they thought I was capping. Ipanyanya made a man will be gone. A very dirty beginning, but beautiful result.
Kalla abin da na kawo babban babba akwati na dawo da sako akwai babbanci kalla abin da na ci akwai babbanci kalla abin da na ci.
I'm from a place where times are rough. Fuck that, we use style, dance some off. These jokes and tunes where we draw support. Big brains and skills don't run come out. Where I'm from, they don't have respect. For my life, for your life, see I'm clear. Big boys go rather buy cars and jets and leave for the hour with the threat, our defense and we internet, Insta X, new challenge, ginger them. This kind pretend I read talent. Do you resilience, I be madness. Turn up for life, oh, turn down kidney. My sort of bang and see me. It remains small, make it burn down, finish. They got a press when they talk that English. You still they dance, you know that time be this. My body feel my leg, you no catch rhythm. It don't take away, we they not start feeling. It don't take away, we they rough and silly.
Kalla abin da na kawo babban babba akwati na dawo da sako akwai babbanci kalla abin da na ci akwai babbanci kalla abin da na ci.
Oh ya Allah ka yi mu ta mai ko. Oh ya Allah ko yunwa ya zama ciwo yo. In ka ba mu ya zama yi yo. Oh ya Allah yo baba ka yi mu ta mai ko. Ana fada later, turn up for all my people. Mothers bury their children. Kama jiri babinci, babu lafiya. Ga mutane suna buro uba a plato. Oh ya Allah ka yi mu ta mai ko.
Naje na dawo, kalla abin da na kawo babban babba akwati.
Wow, lovely musicals. I'm sure you are now relaxed. Okay, it's now time for our sport lovers. What's the world of sport talking about? Let's find out.
Nigeria's Junior the Tigers and Junior the Tigress have landed in Cote d'Ivoire ahead of the 2026 FIBA Under-18 Afro Basket Championship, completing their travel on Monday. The boys open up their campaign against Egypt on August 5th, while the girls face Tunisia the same day, both in Abidjan. The men last won the title in 2026 and are eyeing a record-extending 7th crown. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Miracle Ezechukwu and Success Oyibu have been spotlighted by the World Athletics as athletes to watch in the women's 200 meters at the 2026 World Under-20 Championships, with the meet running August 5th to 9th in Oregon. Lastly, Super Falcons captain Rasheedat Ajibade said the team was prepared to give everything to secure a vital win against Zambia at the 2026 WAFCON, keeping Nigeria's title defense alive after their opening loss to Malawi.
Sport lovers, I'm sure you are now updated. It's now time to take our weather forecast. What will the weather look like today? Let's find out so we can actually prepare better. Weather forecast up next. With that weather forecast, we come to the end of yet another interesting episode of Good Morning Abuja. I had a wonderful time, and I'm sure you actually did. Yes, because my guest talked about children, creating safe spaces for children to thrive. And in fact, it was an interesting conversation. I learned a lot, and I'm sure if you joined in, you actually learned something, and you're going to work on those things that need change. Okay, with that, we've come to the end of today's episode. Until I come your way again, I remain Gladys Kudambu Vincent, and it's bye for now.